Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Jason. I'll be your host on this CFL talk show, Hussey's Huddle. In this video, unfortunately, we're going to talk about something pretty negative towards the Canadian Football League, and that is the injury to BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke, who was quite simply on a historic pace this season, threw around 25 touchdown passes already midway through the season, added another 7 or 8 rushing touchdowns as well. He was on quite simply a historic pace for not just a young quarterback, but any quarterback in the history of the CFL. And it's just so unfortunate to see his season potentially cut short by a Liz Frank injury. So in this quick video, I just wanted to take a look at what Nathan Rourke's timeline for a return is, what this means for his NFL opportunities next season, what it means for the BC Lions going forward this year, and everything under the sun with that. So with that in mind, let's get started with today's video. So as I mentioned off the jump, Nathan Rourke has suffered a Liz Frank injury that takes about 10 to 11 months on average to recover from. JC Abbott of 3 Down Nation laid it out nice in a tweet today. And there have been players that have recovered in around 3 months, a couple of occasions in the last 10 years, NFL or CFL, but at the same time, the vast majority of them have taken around upwards of a year to recover from the injury. So that's the unfortunate part, that Nathan Rourke, with around half of the season left to go here, will most likely not return this season for the BC Lions, and that is just so unfortunate for the player and the team, especially having such a great season at 8-1, their best year in years for the BC Lions, to have it potentially fall apart down the stretch here. One thing I forgot to mention in this recording was what this means for Nathan Rourke's NFL opportunities going forward. And honestly, I think that this injury, if it wipes him out the remainder of the season, I really don't see an NFL team taking him on this offseason. I feel like that will be too much uncertainty, I think, surrounding his injury and what it means to when he returns to the field. I think NFL teams will want to see how he returns to the field healthy, first of all, before they give him that opportunity. So I do believe this, in a weird way, is going to allow him to return to the CFL this season and allow the Lions to keep him for another year. Who knows what's going to happen going forward with this team? I think they have enough wins that they're for sure going to miss the playoffs, or make the playoffs, I should say, no matter how they finish the rest of the season. But how do they finish in the standings? Do they start to fall apart, take on many losses? And that is going to be a big, interesting question going forward. What do they get out of their quarterback situation? And the first guy that's going to get an opportunity at taking this job is Michael O'Connor, who's a Canadian guy who went to Penn State, was a heavily recruited guy, but then actually had a very interesting recruiting path. He went and transferred to UBC and won a championship at the University of British Columbia, winning the Vanier Cup. He was outstanding there, and honestly, it's going to be very interesting to see, because he is a guy that everyone I've talked to has seen him as a guy that has all the tools to succeed as a Canadian quarterback in the CFL, and it's going to be very interesting to see if he can put them all together and use the great arm strength that he possesses, some good mobility. He's a bigger guy, and it's going to be very interesting to see if, not that he could replace what Nathan Rourke brought to the table, but can he utilize these great weapons around him, Brian Burnham, Dominic Rhymes, guys that are having great seasons, and continue to put this team on the right path to victory. And hopefully Nathan Rourke can return at the back end of this season. But even if he doesn't, maybe they are still in contention for the Grey Cup, even if Nathan Rourke does not return, if Michael O'Connor can step in here and play some good football. But honestly, it's going to be very interesting to see how this affects the West playoff race going forward, because you're looking at the standings right now, and BC Lions are sitting at 8-1. Winnipeg Blue Bombers at 9-1. The Lions are 2 games up on the Stampeders, who are 6-3. And also the Lions won the first game of that season series, but there are still 2 games to go in that series, which Nathan Rourke obviously likely not to play in. And if Calgary can win those games, and BC, if they lose to Saskatchewan next week, I think they still have 2 more games against Winnipeg. This is going to be not a very easy schedule the rest of the way for the BC Lions. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they can keep it together and avoid falling all the way down to 3rd in the West, because I feel like if they don't have Nathan Rourke, they're not going to have much of a chance of winning in the Grey Cup playoffs if they don't have a home playoff game to start off right off the bat. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this Lions team and how it affects the playoff race in the CFL the rest of the season. One last thing I wanted to mention is how long of a leash does Michael O'Connor have? If he struggles the first couple of games out of the gate, they have a guy named Kevin Thompson who was looking pretty good apparently in training camp this year, got injured in the preseason, and I believe he's doing all right now and could potentially be available to them. And it's going to be interesting to see if O'Connor struggles to live up to the expectations as a starter. Does Kevin Thompson get an opportunity to start, or do they look at the trade market potentially if this position continues to struggle or starts to struggle in the wake of Rourke's injury? So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this Lions team going forward. But at the end of the day, wish him a speedy recovery, and that's really all you can hope for. He was a great story for the league this season, honestly the story of the league this season, and hope that he's healthy again soon. But with that said, that is going to be the end of this quick video, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Once again, my name is Jason. If you want to support the channel, as always, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.